Let's start with something simple and a little uncomfortable. Naming what you're actually afraid to start. Maybe for you, start means going back to school or university, changing careers, getting in shape, posting your first video, starting therapy, leaving a relationship that's over, or healing from one that ended badly. Maybe it's quieter than that. Maybe start means waking up earlier, reading instead of scrolling, saving a little money, setting one boundary. On the outside, these things don't look huge, but inside your mind, they feel like standing on the edge of a cliff. You think about starting, and a voice appears. What if I fail? What will people say? What if I look stupid? What if I waste time? What if I'm not good enough?
If you keep saying, I'll start tomorrow, I'll start when I feel ready, I'll start when life calms down a bit, and somehow tomorrow never comes, ready never arrives, and life never really calms down, this is for you. If your notes app is full of ideas you never acted on, if your heart is full of dreams you never even tried, if your days are full of maybe one day, this video is for you. Listen carefully. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not weak because you're afraid. You're human. Right now, you are standing in front of something important, because we are rarely this scared to start something that doesn't matter. If you feel this much fear, it means you're close to something meaningful, something that could change your life, even just a little. For everyone who's been stuck at the starting line, watching other people run ahead, for everyone who's been saying, another year has passed and I still haven't started, this video is your pause button, your reset, your reminder. For the next half hour, I want you to give yourself this time. No guilt, no judgment, just honesty. We're going to talk about why you're so afraid to start, why that fear doesn't mean you're not meant to start, and exactly what to do the next time fear tries to chain you to the same place. You don't have to take the biggest step today. You don't have to fix your whole life in one video. But by the end of this, you will know how to take a real, small, powerful first step, even while you're still scared. This is for everyone afraid to start. This video is for you. Let's start with something simple and a little uncomfortable. Naming what you're actually afraid to start. Maybe for you, start means going back to school or university, changing careers, getting in shape, posting your first video, starting therapy, leaving a relationship that's over, or healing from one that ended badly. Maybe it's quieter than that. Maybe start means waking up earlier, reading instead of scrolling, saving a little money, setting one boundary. On the outside, these things don't look huge, but inside your mind, they feel like standing on the edge of a cliff. You think about starting, and a voice appears. What if I fail? What will people say? What if I look stupid? What if I waste time? What if I'm not good enough? So you stay where you are, not because you don't care, but because you care so much that the possibility of failing hurts before you've even tried. If that's you, I want you to know, you are not alone. Millions of people right now are sitting on ideas, goals, and dreams, terrified of the first move. You are not strange. You are not behind. You are simply at the doorway. And doors are always a little scary before you walk through them.
Now, let's talk about fear. Not in a vague, don't be scared way. In a real way, in a way your brain can understand. Your brain has one job it's been practicing for thousands of years: keep you safe. That's it. Once upon a time, safe meant don't go near that animal, don't eat that strange berry, don't get separated from your group. Today, very few of us are running from tigers, but your brain didn't get the memo. It still reacts to emotional risks like they're physical danger. So now, safe often means don't look stupid, don't be rejected, don't fail where others can see you, don't be different from your friends or family.
So what happens when you try to start something new? Your brain rings the alarm. Danger. You might get embarrassed. You might fail. You might prove yourself right about not being good enough. The alarm is loud. We call it fear. But here's the truth I want you to write somewhere in your mind. Feeling fear does not mean you are in danger. It means you are stepping into something uncertain, something new, something that matters. Fear is not a prophecy. Fear is not a command. Fear is not a sign that you should stop.
Fear is an alarm, and alarms can be wrong. They go off when there's real danger, but they also go off when you make toast and it smokes a little.
You don't evacuate the house every time you burn a piece of bread. You open a window. You wave a towel at the smoke. You turn the alarm off. In the same way, you don't have to run away from every feeling of fear. You can say, "Thank you, brain, for the warning, but I'm going to check for myself whether this is a real fire or just some smoke." Let me tell you a story about someone who could easily be you. We'll call him Alex. Alex had a dream. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. He wanted to start a small online business and get in better shape. He had the ideas, he watched the videos, he followed people on social media who were already living the life he wanted. He had notebooks full of plans, workout routines saved, products researched. But every time he went to start, that voice appeared. What if I fail? What if no one buys? What if people laugh? What if I can't stick with it? So, instead of starting, Alex did something else. He waited. He waited for the right time. He waited for a bigger budget. He waited for more confidence. He waited to feel less afraid. Weeks turned into months, months turned into years. Nothing changed, except the weight of his regret. He watched other people start who were no smarter than he was, no more talented, no more ready. But they had one thing he didn't. They moved anyway. One night, Alex was lying in bed,
Scrolling through his phone, staring at yet another success story. And for the first time, instead of asking, "Why them and not me?" he asked a different question. What if I never feel ready? What if fear never disappears? What if this is my only life and I waste it waiting for a feeling that never comes? That question hit him harder than his fear. So he tried something different. He did not launch a full business that night. He did not suddenly become a gym addict. He took one small step. He bought a domain name. He set up a simple landing page. He laid out his workout clothes for the morning and promised himself a 10-minute walk. The next morning, when the alarm went off, the fear spoke again. Stay in bed, you're tired, you can start tomorrow. But something in him had changed. He realized he wasn't waiting for the fear to disappear anymore. He was just deciding not to let it drive the car. So he did the 10-minute walk. It wasn't heroic. It wasn't Instagram-worthy. It was just done. That night, he didn't look in the mirror and see a new person. He just saw someone who had finally taken a step. And that's where everything starts. Not with a big moment, not with fireworks, with a small decision made while you're still scared. Alex's story isn't about instant success. It's about something more important. He stopped waiting to feel ready. He lowered the size of the step instead of lowering the size of his dream. And if Alex can do that, so can you. Let's talk about how you think about starting. Because the way you think about it either traps you or frees you. I want to give you a few mindset shifts, truths you can repeat to yourself when fear pulls you back. Some of you are paralyzed because you expect to be good before you've even started. You say things like, "What if I'm terrible? What if I look stupid?" Of course you'll be terrible. It's your first time. Nobody you admire started at the level you see them now. The writer you love? They wrote awful first drafts. The athlete you respect? They stumbled, missed, fell over and over. The creator with millions of followers? Their first videos were awkward and messy. You are allowed to be bad at something when you start. Say that to yourself. I am allowed to be a beginner. We like to pretend that when we don't start, we're just waiting. Waiting for a sign, waiting for motivation, waiting for the right time. But every day you don't start, you are making a decision. You are choosing yesterday over tomorrow. You are choosing your current life over your possible life. No choice is neutral. Doing nothing is still doing something. Inaction is an action. And when you see it like that, you stop telling yourself the lie that you're just thinking about it. You realize every day you say, "Not yet," you're quietly voting for the life you already have. Fear is uncomfortable. Let's not pretend it isn't. Your heart races, your stomach turns, your hands sweat, your mind screams, "This is a bad idea." That pain is real. But there's another kind of pain that is quieter, slower, and far more dangerous. Regret. Regret is you 10 years from now, looking back at a life that could have been different if you had only been willing to be scared for a while.
Fear hurts now. Regret hurts for the rest of your life. And you have to choose which pain you're willing to live with. The sharp, brief pain of starting while scared, or the dull, lifelong ache of never knowing what could have been. Now, I want to get very practical, because motivation without action is just entertainment. So let's turn your fear into something you can actually move through. I'm going to give you a simple framework you can use anytime you're afraid to start. We'll keep it easy to remember. Right now, think of one thing you're afraid to start. Not 10, not your whole life. 1. Say it in your mind. Even better, say it out loud. I am afraid to start blank. Maybe it's, I am afraid to start going to the gym. I am afraid to start looking for a new job. I am afraid to start my YouTube channel. I am afraid to start therapy. When you name it, it becomes real. You can't fight a fog. You can only fight what you're willing to see.
The reason you don't start is usually not because your dream is too big. It's because your first step is too big. You think start means change everything, be perfect from day one, announce it to the world. No, starting can be tiny. If you're afraid to start the gym, start is not a 2-hour workout. Start is put on your shoes and walk for 10 minutes. If you're afraid to start a business, start is not quitting your job tomorrow. Start is write down one idea, send one email, watch one tutorial and take notes. If you're afraid to start healing, start is not fix my whole life. Start is book one appointment or write one honest page about how you feel. Ask yourself, what is the smallest, easiest possible way to start this? Then cut it in half and start there. Fear loves hesitation. The longer you sit there thinking about starting, the more reasons your brain will invent for why you shouldn't. So you need a simple pattern to break the hesitation. Here's one: the 5-second or 10-second rule. The moment you feel, I should start now, you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you move. You stand up, you open the laptop, you press record, you put on your shoes, you dial the number. You act before your brain has enough time to talk you out of it. Is it magic? No, but it works because it interrupts the loop of overthinking. You act. A lot of you are afraid to start because of how many times you've broken promises to yourself. You've said, I'll go every day. I'll never miss again. I'll change everything on Monday. And then you didn't. So now, when you try to start, you don't trust yourself. Let's fix that. Stop making huge promises. Instead, promise very little and keep it. Tell yourself, I will walk for 10 minutes. I will write for 5 minutes. I will send one application. That's it. Once you're doing it, you'll often do more. But the success is in the showing up, not in the size of the session. Consistency builds confidence, not the other way around. Another reason you're scared to start is that you treat every beginning like a final exam. You think, if this doesn't work, it proves I'm a failure. No, you are not running a final exam, you're running an experiment. Experiments are supposed to be messy. They're supposed to teach you what doesn't work. They're supposed to be adjusted. When you treat starting as an experiment, you free yourself from perfection. You say, I'm going to test this for 30 days. I'm going to see what happens if I try this. I'm just gathering data. If it goes badly, you didn't fail. You learned, you adjust, and you try again. That's how real progress is made. Now, I want you to imagine 2 versions of your life. Close your eyes for a moment, if you can. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. Same room, same job, same habits. You're still thinking about that thing you want to start. It still scares you. You still tell yourself, I'll start soon, but you haven't. A year passes, then 2. You see other people doing the thing you wanted to do. You tell yourself stories to feel better. They're lucky. They have more time. They're just built differently. But deep down, you know. The only difference is that they started and you didn't. How does that version of you feel? Heavy? Frustrated? Numb? Keep that feeling in your mind. Now imagine a different path. In this one, you don't suddenly become fearless. You don't become a different person overnight. You still feel the fear. But after watching this, you make a decision. You will not wait to feel ready. You will start small and soon. You shrink the step. You count down. You show up for 10 minutes. One day feels like nothing. 1 week feels small. But then you look back after 3 months. You've done dozens of small sessions, sent dozens of small messages, taken dozens of tiny steps. You're not finished. You're not perfect, but you are moving. You're fitter, or more skilled, or closer to that new job, or deeper into your healing. Most importantly, you've proven to yourself that you can start while scared.
Which version of you do you want to become? The one waiting for the fear to disappear, or the one who learned to walk with it? You don't control your emotions completely, but you do control your next step.
Let's bring this back to where we started, to that simple, heavy feeling. I'm scared to start. Now you know, fear is an alarm, not a verdict. I'm not ready often means I'm waiting to feel no fear, and that day may never come. Not starting is also a choice. Regret is more painful than the fear of beginning. And you now have tools to use the moment this video ends. You can name the thing you're afraid to start, shrink the first step, use the countdown, promise less, show up more. Treat the whole thing like an experiment, not a test of your worth. Will this remove fear from your life forever? No. That voice will appear again tomorrow, next week, next year, whenever you stand in front of something new. It will say, "You can't do this. You're not ready. Stay where you are." But now, you will not just obey it. You will respond. You will say, "Maybe I can't do it perfectly, but I can do something. Maybe I can't do everything today, but I can take one small step. Maybe I don't know how yet, but I can learn if I try, if I ask, if I practice." The difference between the person who moves forward and the person who stays stuck is not talent. It's not luck. It's not some magic confidence gene. The difference is how they respond in the exact moment their mind says, "I'm scared to start." From this moment on, make yourself a promise. When I'm afraid to start, I will not wait to feel ready. I will pause, I will question my fear, and I will choose at least one small action that says, "I can try." You do not have to become a different person tonight. You don't have to win every single battle with your thoughts. But if you keep choosing one more step, one more attempt, one more "I can" if, your life will slowly shift in a new direction. One day, you will look back at something you were once terrified to start. The gym, the business, the degree, the conversation, the healing. And you will say, "I remember when this felt impossible. I remember when I was too scared to begin. And now, it's just part of who I am." Remember the title of this video. For everyone afraid to start, this video is for you. The video is for you. The words are for you. But the first step? That's on you. So when this ends, don't just nod and scroll. Do one thing, just one. Open the document, write the first sentence, put on your shoes, search for that course, send that message, book that appointment. Make it tiny, make it almost embarrassingly small, but make it real, make it now. For everyone afraid to start, this was for you. Now it's your turn. Start.
Thank you for watching this video.